Hey guys, I was going to do kind of a last beam paint swatch here. I think I pretty much have all the stuff that I want, so I don't know that I will be buying any more for a while. They had a pretty nice sale for the holiday, and I snagged the last few that I thought I wanted. They do have some more that I just, I guess, don't really feel like I need. There's, a black and there's a white gouache, and then there's some pinks and just a couple other colors that I'm just not I don't think I would use too much, so I've opted not to get those. I may change my mind on that later, who knows. I do kind of have a completist streak where I don't like partial sets, I think. Um, but I just wanted to do this one quickly. I only ended up with 9, which is fine because I have a lot of others. But these were the ones that stood out to me, and decided that that's what I wanted to go with. I did go ahead and pre-wet these. If you've watched any of my other beam paint videos, you know that I feel like these take a little longer to activate. You're definitely going to get more color load on them if you do pre-activate them. I know I did watch a video the other day where somebody barely let them wet and then was like, "Oh, there's not much pigment." It's like, "Oh, there is. You just have to give it a second." So, but this is the cherry magenta. It's a pretty magenta color. Just get a little water in here, bring it down. So that pretty much covers me as far as a split palette if I wanted to go that route. I have a magenta E color and I have a actual red color. So, and then this is bread, which is a little, I don't know, I would call it a little burnt sienna-y, I guess. I don't think I had any browns up to this. So I wanted to grab a couple. Oop, I just kind of flung some of that, didn't I? And as always, beam paints usually have a very, very nice color payoff. I'm just a big fan of Beam. I love their quality. And honestly, if they had tube paints, I probably wouldn't paint with much else. So I love their story. If you are not familiar, Beam Paints is a woman indigenous owned. It is a family business. They've been making paints for a very long time. They use maple tree sap as their binder instead of honey or gum arabic, that kind of thing. So pretty cool. They are based out of Canada, but they do have a warehouse location in, I think they said, like the Chicago area. So if you order, you're not going to have to worry about like the tariff thing. But did I need a Prussian blue? Probably not, but we all know how much I love Prussian blue and I do use it a lot. So I opted to go ahead and get it because, well, it's one of my favorite colors actually. So, and I'm an adult, damn it, I can buy what I want. And so all of these paints are handmade. They are done with no plastic packaging. So they are, I just love this company. I do. One day I hope I get to visit because I would absolutely love that. This violet is, you see how dark that gets? You could almost use that as a black. I ain't gonna lie. I can be okay. I'm gonna just come down here a little bit just to thin it out so you can kind of see how low it goes. And then this is the grape. And this may be, let me see, is this a gouache? Nope, this one's not a gouache. This is PV15. Got a water bead dangling, it's bothering me. There we go. This is lilac. And I believe this one is a gouache, I remember correctly. This does have PW6 in it, so I believe that's titanium white, if I remember correctly. So I only got the one shimmer this time. The rest of these are not. I do have another gold called Dreamer's Gold, and I love it. And I saw the Fairy Tale Gold and thought, it looks like it's a little more like antique gold or bronze gold kind of thing. And so this is the graphite. So yeah, you could use that as your neutral tint if you wanted, I think. And this is PBK 10. All right, this is the Fairy Tale Gold. I don't know if I have the swatch I did of the Dreamer's Gold. I'll see if I can pull it out and then we can look at them side by side. I didn't think about that earlier. So the Dreamer's Gold, as always, super high mica payoff on these. Let's see. Now, you're never going to do better as far as like sparkly and mica payoff, I don't think, than these beam paints. I see a lot of others out there, and that's great, and I think they're probably fantastic. I don't know. I haven't used them, but the mica paints from Beam never disappoint. They're awesome. Let me grab this and see if I can pull up the old swatch that we did of the Dreamer's Gold. Oh, it's around here somewhere. I know it is. Oh, I don't know that I ever did it in this book. Well, there's an easy way to do that. Let me just grab it. Nope, it's the pumpkin spice. There's beach sand, which is gold, and then there is the Dreamer's Gold. So we will do a quick little swatch on these just to show the difference. The beach sand has a little bit of like peach in it. We're going to leave those set for just a moment so they can activate. But all in all, like, I think this is a good group of colors. Like I said, that graphite I could use as neutral tint. I've now got a brown that I can play with. And of course I have my Prussian blue because I like Prussian blue. You can see the mica, but it really pops when it's dry, and it's not quite dry yet. Bread, like I said, is pretty much a burnt sienna kind of color. And that violet, you could use that as a black because it comes out really dark. So let me write this down. So, I have terrible handwriting. I always wanted to have that really neat handwriting, and I just never really have. All right, this is beach sand. So, I don't know. Hopefully you guys can see that. Like, even when you, I guess, stir these around, the mica is just so apparent. Like I said, beam paints do take a little bit to re-wet. Some colors are a little worse than others. That's not a bad thing. It's just something to be aware of. Like I said, I watched a video where somebody was trying to use them and they wet them down a little bit, mostly just with their brush. And then they were like, oh, this is pretty, but there's not much, it's not very high tinting. And it's like, you gotta wait on Beam. And so this is the Dreamer's Gold. Oh, look at all that mica. Gosh, I love bean paints. Okay. So this is getting dry. There's no standing water, so you're starting to see the mica come through pretty good. So that's the fairy tale gold. So a little more, I guess what I consider yellowy orangey. And then your beach sand is a little bit of that, but it's a little lighter. I'm actually going to dry these real quick. Give me just a moment. Okay, we're back. We're a little bouncy there, but you can see this fairy tale gold, like I said, a little orangier, a little more like antique gold. And then the beach sand is a lot more subtle. It's a little more peachy. I'm actually going to see if I have this light. I don't know if that helps us or not. Oh, but you can really see that mica pop. So this beach sand's kind of somewhere in between the two. It's a little more subtle. I feel like the mica is a little smaller in it. And then the Dreamer's Gold is gold. A little less yellow, a little more what I consider like a true gold, a clean gold. So you can see like that, the reflection on them, and that they are a lot different. And whichever one floats your boat. Clearly, I like all of them because I bought all three. But just a little different. And if you're, wanting to choose between the golds, then you have a couple of choices there. But anyway, these are the like I said, probably the last beam paints I'm gonna buy for a little while. I just do feel like I've got pretty much everything I want. I know there was one of the new colors that I kind of wanted, but they were sold out, so I'll have to snag it maybe at a later date. It was a sparkly one. So, but anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. Go out there and go paint.